Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to share with you three very consistent strategies that are working in today's environment. There's just a few of the strategies that I will be looking to do in next week's open house. We will be going over those strategies and examples, as well as sharing the Newsbeat agenda. I am Mark Melnick. This is the Newsbeat Show. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Newsbeat Show. So we do have a free open house this week. There is a link in the description. Make sure you slam in if you want to go ahead and experience what we have to offer 1 week for free. Not only that, there's a free psychology ebook. Go ahead, hit the link for that as well. We're going to try to bring you as much value as possible. The problem with education in the market is that strategies change, and strategies that remain dormant and never change because they're just so effective and they've sold so well. And so many people have purchased these strategies and these methodologies and these educational products. The problem is the market evolves and changes. So kindly explain to me for one moment here, if I may. If the market is changing and evolving, why can your strategies be just as effective in every environment if they are not changing? Beats the crap out of me. And the truth is, they have to change and they have to evolve and they have to be tweaked. Because if you don't do it, if you literally decide not to change your strategies, you are going to have a myriad of different hit rates and a plethora of different results based on the week, the month, and the market environment in which you wish to apply those strategies. So one of the things that we do really well here in the Newsbeat Live Room is we figure out the current market conditions, which just literally are recently evolved and evolving as we speak. For example, right now, as I say this, the futures are gapped down massively. Absolutely massively. We are down huge right now after hours. Is it the coronavirus? Is it geopolitics inside, the US? Nobody really knows. But what you can do as a trader is prepare for the inevitable evolution of strategies that will work in the current environment. For example, if I give you strategies that have worked in the past 2 weeks, those are actually the most likely strategies that will work next week. You see, ladies and gentlemen, Wall Street has been lying to us all along. They go ahead and they tell us that if you backtest something for 5 years, that's better than backtesting for 5 days. And that's a lie. You would much rather know what worked in the past week than what worked overall for the past 5 years. And I'll prove that to you right now. For example, if I came to you with a strategy and I said it worked 80% over the past 5 years, how many people would be interested right now in that strategy? Now, what if I told you that same strategy, even though in the past 5 years have worked 80%, but in the past 3 months it's been working 45% of the time? Are you going to still slam your head against that strategy, hoping that the tides turn, hoping that the market will allow them to work again? I hope not. You see, ladies and gentlemen, the reason why there isn't any magic bullet strategy is because the market always figures out what that magic bullet is, adapts and evolves to it, from it, to it, from away from it, whatever it is, however you want to word it. And it is our job as traders to note what's happening in the market, to realize what is working now, and then apply that strategy. So the three strategies I'm sharing with you tonight have a very, very high hit rate, all 70% or more. using our methodology in the market. Now, what do I mean by methodology? Before I share with you these strategies, you should be able to say, all right, I am going to give a set of rules for a name I want to trade with the strategy and see how often that strategy works. You see, one can make a lot of money once they figure out what works. And that is the hardest part of the game. Believe it or not, applying the strategy is much easier than figuring out the strategy. But while people have long weekends and other things to do, you have people like me who are up late at night, spending hours and hours with Newsbeat Live members every single day. The truth is, I'm doing content about 10 to 12 times a week, usually once or more a day. The reason why I push so hard is to ensure the success of not only myself, but the others around me. And alas, ladies and gentlemen, lo and behold, I will drop some very simple strategies on top of your face that will help you succeed, hopefully help you succeed, in the coming week of trading. And if you wish to see these strategies applied in real time, it's going to cost you a click of your finger, the amount of calories it costs your body to click the link in the description and sign in for the open house. Okay. First thing we're going to show you is just a very simple strategy that you've probably heard before, just known as the know your limit. And I even color coded it for you so you can have pretty much an easy time finding the colors on my charts. And if you look at my chart, for example, I color code out my moving averages where the exponential 8 is yellow, the exponential 21 is blue, the 55 is white, and the 100 is pink. And why is this important? Because you usually can get a trade off all these levels. You usually could get a trade off all these levels. I mean, I just happen to have NVIDIA up now randomly um, because I just did a screenshot of a NVIDIA Mark V strategy, and I still have it up on my screen. But yes, NVIDIA is a name that we've been watching recently. And basically, if you look over here, the first thing it does is it goes to the yellow line. I mean, there are other colored lines too, but again, just for the sakes of this, we're using yellow, blue, white, pink, right? Like right up here, you could just see it right there. Yellow, blue, white, pink. And if a name gaps down, you basically could short it when it hits that level, or if a name gaps up, you can buy it if it hits that level. So, very simple. Step one, you choose a Newsbeat name that has a gap up or gap down that you like. We choose the Newsbeat name for you. All right. So, we try to make that process as simple as possible. And notice how few rules I'm trying. I'm trying to really condense the rules here. The first time it hits and breaks the 80 EMA, 21 EMA, 55 EMA, or the 100 EMA on a 1 or 5 minute chart, simply place a trade in the direction of the gap. Now, granted, on a 1 minute chart, the trade will be usually quicker than on a 5 minute, for example, but it gives you a good idea. So here I have a 5 minute chart in NVIDIA, and let me just go ahead and show you. And again, I was actually doing a screenshot in the video for the Mark V. As I told you, I just did this screenshot tonight explaining the Mark V. That's why I had NVIDIA up, but let's go over it nonetheless. All right, so here's the video from Friday. And again, this is not going to work 100% of the time. I'm sure I'm going to find instances where it fails. So here you are. You're looking for this yellow line. So NVIDIA gaps down, you wait. It hits the yellow line and breaks it through. You can enter in short over there after it breaks it through. Now, why do you wait for it to break through? Because that is the rule of the methodology. You don't wait for it to hit to the penny and go in. You wait for it to break. That's why I underlined and emboldened the letters, giving them a place where they could stand out and mean something. And NVIDIA hits this yellow line. Since it gapped down on Friday, you could enter in short. and you could see Nvidia. This is a very actually beautiful example. Coincidentally, it actually dropped $4 in 10 minutes. Nvidia on two 5-minute bars. I'm not saying you're catching $4. Actually, I'm probably saying you catch 50 cents to a dollar. That's it. Now, some people will catch $2, $3. Please understand, I'm not the type of trader that tells you that you should maximize all your winners and cut all your losers. Because people will tell you that simply it just doesn't work if you're trying to bat anything normal. Sure, you could buy a stock at $10, set a stop at 9.95 and set a take profit at $11 and you could risk 5 cents to make a dollar and that's 20 to 1 in your favor and my god, you just have to be right 20% of the time. Forget about 50. 20% of the time and you're going to crush it. They'll tell you. The more common thing, the more common lie on Wall Street is take any strategy, try to make two, risk one, make money 50% of the time. And then they give you a little leeway out. They say if you make money 40% of the time, you're making two and losing one. Here's the mathematics, you're going to be ahead. Sorry, Wall Street. If that worked, 97 to 98% of you wouldn't fail. Again, there's a reason why it doesn't work. It causes psychological toxicity, and the hit rate just simply isn't high in all these environments to do that. I know people can cherry pick environments where the market goes up all day and grinds up all day, and you could buy something, and since the market's grinding up, you can make two, and you can make two before you lose out on one. You'll have a good day, but in general, that strategy fails. Proof: 97 to 98% of traders fail. Proof: the majority of Wall Street, the majority of Newsbeat Live members on Wall Street, we're the ones consistently making money because we're not going, yes, pick up nickels, dimes, and quarters. Ignore the dollar bills. I'm telling you, in this environment, I know it's contrary to everything you heard, right? Go watch some of the videos I put out this weekend. We put out some phenomenal content for you, free videos. We talked about the Newsbeat one and done. We talked about Newsbeat trading psychology, where I go over literally issues that people have, psychologically speaking. Like I go over position sizing, wrong stock selection, your trading stock ideas are not so great. You're up money but can't size up. You're averaging in or doubling down. FOMO, holding losers too long, fear of losing money, treading water, aggressive multiple positioning. We go through all this and we offer you real answers. And people are like, Mark, how did you find all these real answers? Because I've been doing this 20 years and I screwed up on my answers. I screwed up at 99 out of my 100 answers, per se, before I found the one answer that works for the majority of people. You think I come here and I just know all these things magically? No. Do you realize how many trial and error things I had to do over my entire career to figure this out? Just a human being like all of you. Anyway, you hit the yellow line here, you short. Okay, now you wait for the blue line to hit because remember, the strategy only counts for the first time that these strategies hit. You're only doing it for the first time, period. Okay? So, for example, when the yellow line hits the second time over here after hitting and falling down and your short trade worked, you don't short it the second time. This is only the first time. If it works the second time, that's another strategy you're doing that has nothing to do with me. Here's a nice one. Pops over the blue line right here and then drops $1.26 in 5 minutes. Do you think I'm looking at this thing saying, oh my God, Mark, you could have shorted on this blue line. Look at that down move. Oh my God. And you're ripping out hair. And if I were to do that, believe me, I don't need to rip out my hair to lose it. I'm already going bald. But I will tell you, look, very simple. You go in, you short here, you're out a candle later. So when I'm showing you this, I'm not saying, oh my God, and you held it and you wrote it all the way down. No, 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 no. That's what I'm talking about. Just that. What? What do you mean? Just $1? What am I going to really make making 50, 60 cents? Really? You want to know? We have traders becoming millionaires off of this stuff. One trader turned a sub 50K account into over $1 million in 1 year doing these little nickel and dime pickups. Is that a common story? No. But you want to know what is a much more common story than that? Somebody turning five, $10,000 into 30, 40, 50. Some person turning 50,000 into quarter million. That's more common in the room than 50 to a million. Okay. But the point I'm making isn't the success of everyone else around me. The point I am making is don't fall for everything that Wall Street has imprinted in your head. It is causing you psychological toxicity, it is hurting you, and it's creating a belief system and a fallacy of lies. Okay? You short Nvidia or buy puts above here. It hits 299.98. Maybe you shorted it at, I don't know, 299.65 and it drops to 298.72. But maybe you just caught 30 cents, not the full 80, 90 cents. Maybe you caught 30 cents. And maybe you took, I don't know, 10, 15 option contracts, which aren't stupidly expensive on a Friday, very cheap. Maybe you made 20 cents, and maybe you made $300 in 5 minutes, and it was 11:30, and you have zero stress, and you're not sitting there watching your winners turn to losers, losers turn to winners, praying that the stock turns around, suffering toxicity, FOMO, all this other stuff. Maybe you avoided all that. Just maybe. So these are the strategies I'm looking to apply in the open house. The next thing you wait for is now the white line. Why? Because that's the next color coded thing. You did the 8, did the 21, now the 55. So you're waiting for this white line you see here, this white piece of dental floss to hit. And you could see right here, it actually hits and breaks by a penny. Now, unfortunately, it happened right at the end of the day at 4 o'clock p.m. on a Friday. So, no, I am probably not shorting that. Not only that, I like it to break through, which it didn't do, but again, just to show you an example, it even worked after hours after this white line hit. And of course, this pink line, which is the exponential 100, and it always goes in order. It always goes 8, 21, 55, 100. So it's not like you're, hitting the 100 and not hitting the 8, for example, or any other combination. It always is in sequential order. All right. So you can see this pink line never hit. And if it doesn't hit, what do? Nada. Nada. Not only that, if you would like to set up your charts the way I do, we have one of the more viral videos here at T3, how I set up my TC2000. Did anybody get? Yes. All right. So it's Newsbeat Show 536. Definitely check out Newsbeat Show 536. And here's having a bad face day. It's quite common at my age. But here you go, Newsbeat Show number 536, setting up your charts for success. What I do in the thing is I literally, oh, how cute. I even gave a link for Sammy's open house on that day, is one of my more viral videos as well. And what I do as well is maybe on the YouTube one, I literally share with you how to get a link to all my charts so you could just download it. Okay, so definitely check that out as well. All right, so that is the know your limit. You're basically waiting for the yellow line, then the blue line, then the white line, the pink line to hit. I know it sounds so simple and so easy, but when it comes to strategies, I do consider it easier. Do you have the patience to sit on your hands and wait for these things to happen and do nothing? Well, all these stocks are running without you, and all these stocks are doing nothing without you. Do you have what it takes? Well, the person next to you is making money on a stock that you wouldn't touch, like maybe a Tesla or a Space or a Shopify. And you're sitting there and saying, I should have been buying puts in Tesla. That person did it and he's up 20 grand. And I'll come out in the room and say, hey, nice trade, even though I'm not in it, because I love my members and I love our family and I love our community and I want everyone to do well. Maybe that will be me. That is, again, the very simple know your limit strategy. The next I'm going to talk to you about is the Mark 5. And that's why I had a video up before, because I was literally doing it. It's kind of, I know it looks kind of long and confusing, and it has a very nice hit rate still since December 1st of last year. So it's been whatever, 2.5 months. But simply what you're doing is if a name gaps up, you're simply waiting for any 5 minute bar um, to close in the direction of your gap. So if a name gaps up here, like NVIDIA, for example, gaps up, you're waiting for this bar to close green, which is again judged on open versus close. So the first 5 minute bar closes green. The next thing you're waiting for is the next 5 minute bar to not break a prior bar's high. I'll do it through the chart. I think it's easier. You could go back and pause and look at the slide if you want, be my guest. But I want to just explain it in, English. So right over here, you have a 5 minute green bar, right? That's the first bar. You wait for that to close. Next, you're waiting for the next bar that does not break a prior 5 minute bar high. So if this second bar right here, bar number 2 on the 5 minute, broke the prior high, you would have to wait for the next bar. So you're just waiting for any 5 minute bar after the first 5 minute bar closes green to not go higher than the prior candle's high. So the second 5 minute bar does not break a prior 5 minute candle high. You're getting ready for the next time it breaks out. Now, coincidentally, it happened to happen on the third 5 minute bar. Sometimes it doesn't. So you see the third 5 minute bar here broke the second 5 minute bar high. That's the next time a 5 minute bar high broke out. So you're buying through the top of that candle right over here. You're buying as it breaks the high of this second candle. You're buying it on the third candle when it breaks the high of the second candle. You get that? So on this third candle here, 9:30 to 9:35 is the first 5 minute. 9:35 to 9:40 is the second 5 minute. So after 9:40, you're buying when the high of this 9:35 to 9:40 a.m. the second 5 minute bar breaks out. Okay, and I'm using Eastern Standard Time. So you're buying through there, and you're looking for a target of day highs, and you're pretty much selling. That's what I would do. So pretty much you buy through, it breaks out, you sell out, and yeah, I know it goes higher eventually and yada yada yada. Again, if it went lower, I would still say it was just as good of a trade. I mean, what happens after I make money in a stock doesn't really concern me. It doesn't bother me. And when you start making money consistently, you're not going to suffer from FOMO anymore. FOMO is a condition of people who are in a 43-57 paradigm, meaning you're losing money or you're doing strategies that work rather 43 to 57% of the time. And you really need those big winners. You really need to pick up those big winners to make up for all your losers. For me, I'd rather not be in that situation in the first place. I would rather just have a bunch of winners. I would just rather have a lot of winners. And I know it sounds, so obvious to some of you, but that's what works. And it works for a lot of people, ladies and gentlemen. It works, in my experience, for the majority of people. And again, ever since like, I would say around between March and April of 2019, was the first time in my 13-year broadcasting career. I've been trading going on 21 years, but my 13 years as a trading broadcaster, that was the first time where I would say the majority of people within our service are actually making money. So meaning, a little less than a year, figure like March, April, whatever of last year, whatever it was, till February now. So just to put things in perspective, and I'm estimating now, right? Figure I've been doing this 13 years as a trading broadcaster. I would say for 12 years in 3 months out of those 13 years, I would not be able to say that's true. So when I'm coming to you with that statement, I understand what it sounds like. And I actually address the issues. One of the biggest issues that people come to me is I'm making money and I don't know how to size up. I addressed it in the last video. Go check it out on the psychology video, Newsbeat Show 555. I know you think I'm giving you my phone number to move me, right? It's like, you know, some hot girl asking for your number. You could dial me, baby, 555-1212, and you'll write it on like a cocktail napkin. And for some reason you have a pen on you, which makes absolutely no sense. Then you hand them and mark 555-1212. I always thought that was funny. Anyway, Let's go to the third strategy that's working right now. We're going to talk about the one and done. And we did literally an entire video on it. Our last video was actually entirely based on the one and done, but I want to give you just some examples here of what it actually is and how it works. So, very simple. You're waiting for a 1 minute bar to close, let's say on a Newsbeat name that gaps up. Again, very simple. You choose a Newsbeat name, you wait for the first minute bar to close, and you're pretty much buying through the break of that candle. I know there's more rules here, but I want to simplify it for you. You will be seeing this in real time. You're pretty much taking a Newsbeat name, and you're pretty much buying after the first top of the candle break. So you're buying after 9:31 a.m. You have to wait for 9:31 a.m. because that's when the first 1 minute bar closes. And then afterwards, you're buying, in this example, I'm bowing through the second 1 minute bar for a scalp to the long side. And I'm not even saying you catch this whole move. Again, you catch a little bit of the move here, halfway through, third of the way through, you're golden. Okay. Another example of a one and done in Facebook. Our bar closes green over here. You buy through. You have the stop level down there, but you should be out well before that stop level even approaches. Another example for Apple Short. You put in, it gaps down as you can see, puts in a 1 minute bar. It doesn't break on the second candle. It actually breaks down on the third candle. So you're shorting right over here. You have your stop up there, and then it breaks down lower. Just showing you more visuals here. Here's a gap down on Amazon. Short as it breaks the candle. This thing takes a few minutes to work, and by few, I mean 3. I mean 3 minutes later, that's when Amazon drops. And yes, I see it went lower, but that would be a one and done short in Amazon. Just wanted to give you a few more visual examples. Alibaba, gaps down. These were all real Newsbeat names, by the way. Alibaba, gaps down. Short through the break of the first 1 minute candle. Your day is done on this second candle. I know you see the third, fourth, and fifth, and you're like, Mark, how do I know how long to hold this thing for? I mean, I can't tell you that, but for me, I'm out on this second candle. I mean, the stock went from about 164 to 163, drops a dollar. I'm catching 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50 cents. How much would have you come? I don't know. One of them, and I would be fine with any of those answers. Do you want to leave a runner and see how far down it goes? Sometimes I do that, but really, I just chuck it. This is how you make your day in less than 2 minutes. I'm serious. I know it sounds too crazy. We literally did a video. Our last video shows you members who are trading less than 10 minutes a day. Less than 10 minutes a day. And I know it sounds too good to be true. And I know it sounds nonsensical, but we're going to be offering you an algorithm hopefully soon with the blessings of T3 on how to do it. But what we did right here on this video is on the last one, this is Newsbeat show 557, right? No, 558. On 556, we literally show you how to successfully work under 10 minutes a day trading. And yes, more often than not, if I wasn't a broadcaster running an open house or whatever, or just running a broadcast in general, my trading day could end in less than 10 minutes, like every single day. I know, it sounds too good to be true, but try it, look at it, see the people around you doing it. They literally come in the room, they all pile in, and then within the first 5, 10, 15 minutes, like a quarter to a third of the room just drop off like flies, or like, whew, like, like those bright lights out in the, rural areas, and you're outside in someone's backyard and there's a ton of mosquitoes, and you're having like barbecue or dinner outside, and they put up the big bright lamps, and all you hear is like, you hear those little sparks like, pfft, like you hear it like a bug landed on it, got zapped, and fell to the ground. That's what happens on the one and done. They make money and they just leave. They just whoosh, fall right off. It sounds magical. 3 very simple strategies: the one and done, the know your limit, and the Mark 5. We will be looking to do those strategies. Not only that, stick around, because By the end of the day, even though things slow down in the afternoon, generally speaking, we might have a trade or two, we might not. You should definitely check out our Newsbeat earnings. We're going to give you our Newsbeat earnings list. We've been absolutely crushing it. The room has been doing phenomenally well. Again, this number looks a little, a lot because it is based on a $100,000 bet. But if you're doing a $10,000 bet, just move a decimal over. So if you're doing these names with $10,000 bets, following the methodology exactly, entering at closing price, exiting at opening price, zero management whatsoever once the market closes or opens, you could be up over $16,000 on a $10,000 bet. Phenomenally consistent, phenomenally effective, combining fundamental analysis, combining company earnings reports, and combining technical analysis all into one product. It is absolutely phenomenal, and we are right a lot more often than we are wrong, and we make a lot more money, more importantly, than we lose when we're wrong. Um, so really, we even had a huge home run in stamps. We caught Zillow long. We caught Dropbox long. Just absolute massive home runs. These things were predictable to us. So you're going to get not only that, and you're also going to get like personalized attention. So I just wanted to show you like what our agenda looks like, so you know what to expect. The audio starts at 9 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So if it's 8 o'clock a.m. or 8:30 a.m. and you're like, is Mark talking? Is Mark talking? I might be, but probably not because we don't officially start till 9 o'clock a.m. Please use Google Chrome for best results. Please use Google Chrome for best results. From 9 o'clock a.m. to 9:15 a.m., I start talking about the market, what I'm watching, what I'm focusing on. From 9:15 to 9:25 a.m., I'm answering your questions on stocks. Now at 9:20 a.m., I generally ask for the questions to stop because I want to answer all the questions that were asked prior to 9:20 a.m. I want to answer everybody's questions and technical analysis. And then not only that, before 9:30, the first thing I ask them is, what is your favorite one and done? What stock is your favorite one and done? And the strategy I just showed you, you have the entire Newsbeat live room sharing their opinion, saying, this stock, this stock, this stock, this stock, sometimes a bunch of different names, sometimes a lot of the same name. And it gives you a very good idea of where people are focusing on right in the morning. Um, Great risk rewards every time. If you're in the room, you would already know that. You get real time calls on stocks I'm purchasing and selling. So a lot of times I'm calling out things that I'm not in. I'll be like, all right, for example, NVIDIA could break out of here because I see there are other people in these positions. Other people are watching them. If I buy something, you're going to hear, all right, guys, I'm looking to buy this if this happens. I'm buying here. If there's some breaking news, it's dished a lot quicker with usually little warning, but that's what the market is. That is more rare than common. Most of the time it'll be like, all right, guys, I'm looking to do, I'm waiting for a know your limit 55, like the strategy I just showed you on XYZ stock. If the stock breaks here, I'm looking at these option calls. Most of the people will be looking at common stock because that is just most traders do common stock over options. Really the same mentality behind it, although we're hoping something goes up if we're buying, we're hoping something goes down if we're selling or buying puts, right? So you'll basically hear me say, all right, XYZ, if it comes to $50 here, it's at $50.50. If it drops through 50, I'm looking to buy the $50 calls at that point. So I'm already prepared on it. I'm already set for it. I may or may not buy it. If I do buy it, I'll say, all right, guys, I entered here. You'll be able to literally see my print, excuse me, in real time on the option box when I buy something. It's not like anything secretive. You literally see, like, I know, all right, I've been a broadcaster for 13 years, right? I'm not going to call out people's names. Just about every single broadcaster I've ever met waits till they're up money in a position before they tell you they're in it. Even if it's a nickel, dime, 15, 20, 25 cents. Even if it's in a very tight name, even when they're up 3, 4, 5 cents, and then they'll call it out for you. They'll short a stock at $20. It'll be at like 19.95, and then they'll call it out to the room. I don't do that. I don't do that. I believe in full transparency. Not only do I believe in full transparency, there are a lot of trades that I miss because other traders are jumping in before me. When I call something like that, I take that on my shoulders and I miss a lot of trades as a result. You will notice that. I would rather be fair and transparent than make an extra buck inside my account. That's how I work. That's how I roll. There's not a lot of talk. However, this might be a little different during an open house because I'm talking a lot more during an open house. There are people who are like, I don't understand what you do. Okay, please watch this video or please look at this or let me help you. Do you understand what happened here? I go into further details after 11 o'clock a.m. because that's generally when the market slows down. Like at 9:40 in the morning, I'm not going to sit there and answer a deep technical question for you. The market is open, the market is active. I'm focusing more on trying to dish out ideas to you. All right. So just keep that in mind. Throughout the day, you're going to see me throw out like minus and equal signs. Like, for example, I could even show you right here. Like, you'll see me go like this in the chat, in the Newsbeat live chat. And the reason why I do that is as a placeholder in the chat to read your question. So I'll say, is there any technical analysis I can offer you, ladies and gentlemen? Now's the time to ask. If you asked a question before, I might have missed it. Just kindly either repeat it, copy and paste, or wait for me to say that because I'm a trader too. Um, I make the majority of my money as a day trader, and I focus on, the stocks and calling out live action ideas. So that's what I do. So with that, there is a link in the description to sign up for the open house. There is a link in the description to get my free psychology ebook. It has been so many people have been reaching out saying how much it has helped them right now. How to overcome psychological toxicity in your trading. There's a link in the video description. Check it out. Take advantage of it. We do these things. I do these things. T3 does these things to help you ultimately. I understand that this is a business, but at the end of the day, helping you has to be the number one objective. Putting you first has to be the number one objective. And making you feel like a family member is my number one objective. It's not like I'm just going to be nice to you during this open house and after you swipe your credit card and sign up like most people will, it's not like you're going to be ignored. I've been doing videos all week. I mean, if you literally if you literally were you get free access to my Twitter, you get free access to my Twitter. You get things like this every single and ask the members. I do this always. 8:50 a.m. 8:50 a.m. yesterday morning. In room now, having coffee. Come with any questions, solutions, difficulties, etc., 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 or just come to hang out. You always have unfettered access to me, especially over the weekend. And this is not like just a Saturday, by the way. Here's February 23rd, 8:55 a.m. Made my coffee, coming to room. I've been literally having my coffee in front of my computer, answering questions, helping people. This trading career, this broadcaster career, this is my life. I fight tooth and nail to make sure that my members succeed. I didn't discover a magic bullet and sit back and sell a magic bullet and a magic fix and a magic solution to people. I understand that trading is a process. I understand that certain people are going to need a lot more time than other people. I understand that the squeaky wheel gets the grease, and I want to make sure that as much as humanly possible, that I will be there to help you. Check out the links in the description. Guess what? You want to email me? You have something personal you want to tell me? Newsbeat at t3live.com. I answer 100% of those emails. I don't have my assistant doing that for me. I don't have a team of people answering emails for me. I read and personally answer all those emails. Newsbeat at t3live.com. Mark at t3live.com. It all goes to the same place. I hope you guys enjoyed the Newsbeat show. Again, links in the description if you're interested in the free open house and free ebook, and my email in the description if you want to ask me a question. Happy trading, make money. I will see you guys tomorrow on the Newsbeat Live open house. Have a wonderful weekend.